We start off by cutting the blank to fit the tube. The tube in this case is 4.18 inches long. That's pretty long and requires some work to make sure that you're going to be able to drill it. Your drill bits are typically not much longer than that, so we'll cover that in just a minute or two. If you are using the 10 millimeter bit that we sell at Exotic Blanks, as you can see in this picture, it's about 1 inch longer than the tube. So let's look into how we can drill that and be fairly safe about it. You see that the flutes end about 1 inch in. So we're going to have to be a little careful how we do this, and we'll cover that as we do the drilling. Okay, this is the starting setup to drill the blank. I have my scroll chuck here, and it's got the blank in it. And then your Jacob's chuck, or drill chuck, whichever you prefer to call it, is into the Morse taper on the tailstock end. And this, of course, is the bit. So all we need to do now is turn this on. I'm going at a conservative 700 RPM. I will bring this up, and you'll see that as I bring it up, it hits the center, and we can start drilling. Now I have a brand new sharp bit, so it isn't, as you can see, I'm getting the swarth out. But I go in a distance and then take it out so that I can clear the flutes. And again, we unlock and push it in. And continue to drill. What you don't want to do is go beyond those flutes, because that will make it hot as you're drilling it. Now, if you do decide to do that, do very, very short advances. Because you'll see it's very hot if you do that. You're taking a chance of melting the blank. So instead of doing that, I'm going to stop and turn the blank around and drill from the other side. Okay, I've turned it around. As you can see, there's no hole in this end yet. So once again, I'm going to pull it up, turn this on first. That will give me the center. And I can then pull this up, lock it in place, and drill from this end. I do not like drilling from both ends, but in this situation, it really seems to be the only choice. So, when the two holes met, they stopped the progress. So what you want to do is loosen this up now and take it out by pulling this. Now I can grab a hold of this, and it is hot. Not real hot, but hot. And take it out just like that. Now, what I'm going to do is go through there real quick, I hope. Again, put this back down. I'll try to get a good tight hold on it here so that it doesn't slip again. Just had to get past that one spot where the two holes meet, and then you're good to go. And just to show you everything worked out okay, this goes in just like so. Goes all the way in. Not a problem. So we're ready to move on to painting the inside of that tube. I'm going to paint the inside of this blue. So I have some blue paint here and a very long stick. These are skewers that I buy at Walmart. And then I can get this full of blue paint and go inside there and just turn it around several times from one side, and then get some more and turn it around several times from the other side. As I look down in there, I can see that I have pretty good coverage of the paint. Looks good from both ends. So it's now painted. Now I have to wait a significant period of time, at least an hour or so, for it to dry before I'm going to try to put any kind of a adhesive in there. I will use epoxy to hold my tube in because it will do less damage to the paint. Your CA glue, if you try to do that, is very likely to scratch the paint and make it void areas, but epoxy works better, not perfectly. But hopefully this is not going to be a real easy to see through. It's not real translucent. So I think it'll come out fine, but that's the next step. I will leave that for an hour, as I say, and then come back. Okay, we have now painted the inside of the blank, and we have glued the tube into it. So the next thing that I do, which is a little different, I actually start turning the pen. You could at this point face the two ends if you wanted to. I prefer to wait until later on to do that. That will mean that this will not be turning absolutely square, and so my ends will not be exactly right until I face it. So yes, I know that, and I'm willing to deal with that because I don't want to shorten the pen, and I can look at it later more easily and see where the brass is and make sure that I don't face it too far. So that's my procedure. We'll move on from there, and you can do it any way you want to. I'm trying to use the camera in a position that you can see pretty well, so it's going to make my turning a little more difficult. So if it looks like I don't know what I'm doing, sorry about that. Okay, I think we're ready to face the blank now. And I have been turning from behind the camera, so it's kind of an interesting way to try to turn something, but it went okay. And there you can see what we've got. It's in fine shape. I will give you a close-up view of it, closer up view of it. You can see that it's been turned fine. There are no nicks or crannies or any of that stuff. Now I just have to face it so that the two ends are square. Okay, at this point I'm ready to face it, and as you can see, I have the sanding disc on the headstock, and then I just move up the blank and guide it up to the, first of all we have to make sure we got this tight. There we go. So you can see it has not yet touched the brass, but I'm very close. On this side I've got a little bit there. Do the same thing over here, so it's very close. And you can hear it's hitting the brass. Right there, I've touched the brass, and that's exactly what I want to do, is just touch the brass. Same thing on this side, we'll touch the brass. Again, everything looks just the way it's supposed to. So we can turn that off, and that side's got just a touch of brass, and that side's got just a touch of brass. And we're back to turning. One thing I did not mention as I put them on the first time, the tube bushings are different sizes. They are not a lot different, but they are different, a couple hundredths of an inch. So be careful. The one that is the smaller of the two should be the one that you use for the nib of the pen. The one that's the larger goes on the clip end. Okay, I'm going to try to put this camera at a little different angle so that I'm not tripping over it. So let's see how this works out. As you can see, now that this is going straight, in other words, it's not wobbling, this end wobbles quite a bit because that's the way that I turned it when these were not squared off. Now it will be squared off and it will solve that problem. As I say, it's interesting how I'm going to turn this here, how I'm going to get in, but we'll see what happens. Turn it up to full speed because that's where I'm comfortable. You can do whatever you want to. And because this is the, let's see if I clipped off a piece. It looks like I did. Yeah, I clipped off a little bit of a piece there. I can fill that though. Huh. Don't know why that happened, but I can fill it so it will be fine. Okay, and then because this is a cigar pen, I'm going to kind of cut it the way I cut cigar pens. And that means I'm going to need to move this camera. Okay, let's try this and see if I can work around it a little better. And that was really got bollocksed up at the end. Tell you what we're going to do here is I'm going to do what I used to call an oops ring. You can see there's another spot right there that there was actually some holes in this blank. Okay, now we're down to assembly, which is really simple on this pen. There's only a few parts, first one of which is this major part. Take the black piece and put it on so that it is widest part at the top, and it will then coincide with your nib. You now have that screwed in. This transmission, of course, can be unscrewed so that you can put in your refill and spring. Spring and refill. That goes in there like that. Like so. And basically that is your pen. As you can see, you've got your refill extended and unextended. You may want to play with that spring in there a bit because it seems that they're not necessarily as stretched as they could be. The other thing you might want to do, this may be hanging up on the nib a little bit, although it's still got that wax on it. Take the wax off and see if everything works better. Now I would still stretch that spring a bit. You want to get a little bit more flexion on it. Now it goes in and out nicely. Okay, and then the only thing that you have to do is put your piece together with these pieces. And that goes on there. It does not press fit. The back side does press fit. So what you're going to do is take this off. This piece gets press fit in. I have my arbor press here. So I just press that down until it's on there nice and tight. Now when I put this over the transmission, that's what's holding everything in place. So you push it down tight and your pen is ready to go. That's all there is to it. So this is the new one-piece cigar pen. I hope you all enjoy it. It opens and closes easily. As you can see, now that I stretch that spring a little, it works really well. That's all there is to it. It's perfectly fine now. So thank you for watching. Once again, this is Ed at Exotic Blanks. We ask you to thumbs up or subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to coming out with new videos whenever possible. So thank you for watching.